AIME and Social Security. This determines exactly how much you get each month. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to discuss the details of a very important factor which will determine exactly how much you're going to get from Social Security each and every month as your benefit check. Now, this is represented as the acronym of AIME, and what I want to talk about for you here in the video and why this is so incredibly important. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. I truly do appreciate your support. If you have not done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and there's that big old button down there waiting for you. If you have not hit that yet, make sure to hit that down below. Totally free, like I said, and again, I'm here for you every single day in any way that I possibly can be to bring you the latest updates and to talk through complex and complicated and confusing topics on Social Security and all of these other benefits that I focus on here in the videos and right here on the channel, as there's a lot going on right now. We also know there's a lot of bills, packages, and proposals out there. It's a weird time of year right now. It's a very busy time of year. Things are changing very rapidly. So again, I'm here for you no matter what every single day with the latest updates and to talk through all these details for you so we can maximize your monthly benefit as well as maximize your lifetime earnings out of Social Security and all of these other fixed income benefits. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's get into it and talk about the details of AIME, or AIME, I guess you could say, right? And how this directly impacts your monthly check from Social Security and what you need to know about this, because this is a very, very important aspect of your monthly benefits. Now, what I'm going to be talking about here in this video mostly pertains to Social Security retirement beneficiaries, okay? However, there is some translation, but I do want to talk about the details of that, okay? So, AIME, what does it actually stand for? It stands for Average Indexed Monthly Earnings, okay? So average indexed monthly earnings, okay? So remember that. That is what that stands for. Now, where does it apply? Okay, great question. Here's what it comes down to. To determine from Social Security exactly how much you're going to be getting on a monthly basis, there's some calculations and there's some formulas that they use to determine all of this, okay? You would think the process would be a little bit easier, but it's not, okay? There's a lot of numbers that they run through, a lot of different calculations and things like that, but I want to give you the details of that. So here's what they do. They take your 35 years of highest income to run through this formula, okay? So let's just use this much. Let's just say that you have worked for 30 years. Okay, that's totally fine. But remember, they use 35 years. As a result of that, for any years that do not have income, they put a 0 in there, okay? Anytime that we're running averages and things like that, anytime that there's a 0, it throws off the average. So if you possibly can, make sure to have at least some numbers in there. But again, I know this is not as completely feasible for everybody. I'm just simply saying, anytime that there's a 0 when we're running averages, it really distorts the average. And again, that's what I want to bring to your attention here, okay? So they use your 35 highest income years. However, let me use another example really quickly. Let's just say that you work for 40 years. Awesome, that's great. You have 40 years of income. In the event of this, then, they would use your 35 highest years. So the 5 years of lowest income, those would be dropped off, and they would only use your 35 highest years, okay? So here's what they do. They basically, through the age of 59, they inflate all of those numbers up to current present time with inflated numbers. Because remember, incomes, say 35 years ago and dollars 35 years ago are not worth what they are today. So they inflate all these numbers to inflate, according to inflation, to make sure that they are all basically the same, okay? They basically make apples to apples to make sure that everything is adjusted for accordingly. Then, what they do is they take all of the income from these 35 years, okay, whatever that happens to be. It could be 20 years, it could be 30 years, it could be 40 years, whatever it happens to be, 35, whatever. But they take the 35 years, they add up all the income from these years. That's a lot of money right there, right? So they add it all up and they get one really big number, okay? Then they take this really big number after all the income has been added up from those 35 years and they divide it by 420. Why 420? 420 is the number of months in 35 years, okay? So 35 years multiplied by 12 months per year is 420 months. That's what it comes out to. So 420 months. So they take up all this income that has been added up, and again, that's what it comes out to, okay? So they add up all the income, they divide it by the number of months, which is 420, and that gives you a number. It's averaged income, okay, on a monthly basis, or AIME, A-I-M-E, average indexed monthly earnings, okay? So that's what it is. That is how they determine that number, okay? So, are you confused? Yeah, exactly, right? So, anyway, that is where this AIME calculation comes in. So now they've got all of your income added up, divided by the number of months over the course of 35 years, and it gives us this one magical number, AIME. Average indexed monthly earnings. They take that number and now they run it through another formula, okay? We're not done yet. That's not what it comes out to. So whatever numbers that you would see there, that is not the final number. Now they have to run it through a formula, okay? The formula is basically putting a different weighting on these dollars, okay? Believe it or not, each dollar has a different weighting for it. So now it runs through a different formula, and that would determine exactly how much you're going to be getting on a monthly basis at your full retirement age as a Social Security retirement beneficiary. Now, this is also represented as PIA, primary insurance amount. A lot of acronyms, a lot of abbreviations, right? So these are just a few of them. In fact, there are tons of them with Social Security, and these are a couple that I wanted to point out for you. But this directly relates to your monthly benefit and how much you're going to be getting on a monthly basis. The AIME is very, very important because the higher that number is, guess what? The higher your benefit is going to be, okay? So pretty cool. If that number is low, then obviously your monthly benefit is also going to be lower. But if that number is nice and big and it's a nice solid number because you had some pretty nice income years in there, then that's great, right? Now your monthly benefit is likely going to be higher because once it runs through the formula, things like that, again, then you just have a higher income benefit, okay? That's just basically what it comes down to. So let's just say, for example, I'm just going to run some numbers off the top of my head here, okay? Let's just say that somebody earns, say, I don't know, $10,000 a year for 35 years. That's $350,000, okay? So $350,000 over 35 years in this one example here. Now, divided that out by 420 is, I don't really know. I can't do that math in my head. I guess I could, but it's going to take me more than what I can do on the fly here, okay? So I'm just saying, I could run it, but it's going to take me like a minute or something to run that in my head, and I'm not going to hold up the video for that. But you get my point now, okay? So in that case, that's what it would come down to. Now let's just say we have the same person or another person that earns $20,000 a year, okay? $20,000 a year for 35 years is $700,000. Their income is doubled. Now if you take the $700,000 and divide it by 420, now again, that number is going to be twice as much as the other person, okay? So now once you run it through the formula, these checks are going to be higher. Now, does the person that earned 20 grand a year for 35 years have a check that's double the amount of the person that earned $10,000 a year for 35 years? The answer is no. Wait, what? It's double the income. Wouldn't it be the same? No, it's not. Because here's why. Again, why this is so confusing. The formula suggests that there's a higher weighting for the first dollars that are earned versus the last dollars that are earned or the later dollars that are earned, okay? That's the other part of the formula that I was going to talk about in a separate video, which is because that's a whole nother topic in and of itself. But basically, they put a much higher weighting for Social Security for early earned dollars versus later earned dollars, okay? So somebody that earns, say, $20,000 a year versus somebody that earns $100,000 a year, you would think, wow, the person getting $100,000 a year of income is going to have a benefit 5 times the amount of the person earning 20 grand a year, right? No, not even close. Not happening, okay? And the reason I said 5 times more is because 100,000 is 5 times more than 20,000. That's not how it works. The weighting on that income is really favored toward the early dollars that are earned, okay? So again, I can talk about all that in a separate video. That's a whole big topic in and of itself. And honestly, it's pretty confusing, okay? That's why I want to talk about it in a separate video because it can get very confusing if I start throwing out all these different numbers and percentages and weightings and like, whoa, I don't know what we're talking about anymore, right? It's very confusing, stuff like that. But I wanted to talk about this AIME, average indexed monthly earnings, as well as PIA, primary insurance amount, how they arrive at these numbers, and why you may think, wait, I worked for 35 years, I worked for 30 years, whatever it happens to be. I paid in a ton of Social Security payroll taxes, and I'm only getting this little bit back? I smell a rat. Something doesn't add up here, right? Yeah. Well, if you're thinking that, you're not alone because there's a lot of people that wonder the exact same thing. Wait, I'm pretty sure I paid in a lot more than this and I'm only getting this little bit back. Well, yeah, this is why, okay? So it all comes down to the averages, the zeros that fill in for any years that didn't have income, all kinds of things like that. So anyway, I'm here for you. I want to break this down for you. Another aspect of Social Security, another acronym or two or three that we talked about here in the video. And again, stay tuned as I will come back and talk about those weightings and percentages and their portion of this formula here in a separate video. But I want to break this down for you as this can be another confusing aspect of Social Security. And again, just want to bring it to your attention here in this one. Again, there's a lot of different things about Social Security. The more you know, the better off you're going to be to maximize your monthly check and to maximize your lifetime earnings out of Social Security, because we want to do that as much as we can, right? So anyway, hope this helps you. Again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one, and I'll catch you again later in the